Welcome to the Highway 360. Today I'm going to give you an introduction on Oracle object type. I will touch on the basics of the object type and object orientations. It's often referred to as OO. I will try to explain to you what is a constructor, what is instantiation mean in the OO world, and what are the restrictions on the object type. So what is an object type? It is a user-defined type. You can use the create type statement to create the object type, like this one here. You can give them the field names and the data type. It is kind of like a data type. What it meant is like this one here. We can create a table and have the field or the column referencing to the object type, like this. Okay. In the other OO languages like Java or C++, the object type can also mean class in those languages. The object type will have attributes and methods. And methods is not compulsory to have it, it can be optional, so it doesn't have to be declared. This is an example of what an object type would be like. Here I give the name of the object type. These are the attributes and these are the methods. So in this case the methods are the function and procedure, and the attributes are basically the fields. Each object will have a default constructor. I will explain to you later on what is a constructor. And the constructor can be overridden. That means you can redefine the constructor. Before you use the object must be instantiated first. Again, I will explain it later what's instantiation. It supports inheritance. Inheritance is one of the features within the OO world. What it meant is that if there's a relationship between a parent and a child, the child will inherit the attributes and method from the parents. It also supports polymorphism. This is another terminology that we use in the OO world. What it means is that the same method called the same name, but it may give you a different behavior. In the examples of this object type here, the get address here, it might mean getting the work address, but in other object it may mean getting the home address. Okay, so these are just the brief introduction of object type. Now we get into object orientations. A constructor. What is a constructor? A constructor is a special method within the class or the object. It got called when every time you create a new object, it will trigger off and call the constructor. And what does the constructor do? What it does is to initialize the object for you. For example, setting the attributes for you, like the name, the department, and so on. Okay, instantiation. What is instantiation? It means you create a new instance of the object or the class. What it does is that it allocates the storage for the object. So that's why if you try to use the object before it instantiates, it will fail because it hasn't got the storage for it yet. And finally, we're going to touch on the restrictions on the object type. The first one is you cannot connect to the remote database to use a select or update on a user-defined type, which means object type in this case, or use the remote table which have reference to the object. And within your PLSQL code, you cannot declare a local variable pointing to a remote user-defined type, which means the remote object type using a DB link. And finally, you cannot apply the object type on the remote procedure call. We use it as either an argument, i.e. a parameter to pass on to it, or use it as a return value, i.e. you cannot have a function return value of object type when using a remote procedure call. So these are the basics of the object type in Oracle and a brief introduction to object orientations. I hope you enjoyed the video. More details about how to create the object and how to use the object type in Oracle will be in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.